Cafe anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1020. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro, Valentino. Today, it's a Why Am I Laughing? There's no reason whatsoever. It's the return of the much-loved news segment, Matthews News, where we catch you up on the little-known news stuff you didn't know. Now you'll know.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Plus, we hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster, and we'll have Addendum with Kevin.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Where we talk about John Lennon and all Capp and stuff. So Hillary and Bernie are going to debate some more, because that's what we need is more politicians at war. And I have had Netflix for at least 4 years. They've sucked me in with lots of TV programs that I adore. But when it comes to the BBC, I get a little bit perturbed.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
On those shows, characters leave after a short time, and then I'm disturbed.
Mike's
I guess they're doing it
Daily
and they've
Podcast.
done it for years.
Yeah!
And America has picked up the habit recently with shows like Game of Thrones, where they kill someone that you've been like, oh my gosh, that's the character I liked. Why did they do that? What? But now BBC's been doing it for a long time, simply because I think there's a point that BBC says we're only going to pay our stars this much. And when they become too big, they're like, we're not going to pay anymore. And the star goes, okay, I'm out of here. And then they leave, and then they got to write some weird... One show I was watching called Murder in Paradise, they just killed the lead guy. Usually he solved the murders, and then all of a sudden he's murdered at the beginning of one of the shows. It's one of those shows where it starts off with someone getting murdered. And this guy gets murdered at the beginning of the show, and you're like, wait a minute, what? Was that fake? No, he wanted out of the show. So they murdered him, and they brought this other guy in, who was horrible. I had to stop watching the show. It made me very upset. This happened again with the show Monarch of the Glen, which is on Netflix. And the main guy, he decides to... They didn't kill him off. He just decides to leave to go on some adventure and climb some mountain. And then he doesn't show up again, ever. But they do bring in Tom Baker, who is one of the Doctor Who's, who I enjoy. Oh, look who just walked in just now. Hi, Mike. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. How y'all doing?
And it's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player, tell you what.
What?
Oh, it's a Doctor Who.
Doctor Who is a sci-fi British show, the very big show in England. And it's been around since 1963. I've discussed this many times on this show. Ooh, I'm watching a beautiful red-headed black bird, condor, hawk, buzzard thing flying around. How interesting. Just flying around outside the window here of Cafe Anyway.
I see that. Let me get my rifle.
No, do not kill that fine bird flying in the sky.
If it ain't a bald eagle, then I don't care.
How about a bald Mike?
I still don't care about a bald... I care only if it's a bald eagle. Tell you what.
What?
What's with all this rain and such?
I don't know. It's been raining a lot. I am a man of habit. I'm a creature of habit. I've been this way as far back as I remember. One weird habit I used to have is I used to walk this trail in Ventura, where I used to live in downtown Ventura, California. And I was living in this duplex, and every day for exercise, I would walk up to the top of this hill and see this beautiful view, then walk from the top of the hill all the way down to the ocean. Absolutely beautiful trail. Look who else just walked in.
Hello, Mike. I make the root beer. I'm the Brewmaster. Oh, boy.
Brewmaster, you interrupted me in the midst of one of my very revealing stories. I was opening up a vein for the listener.
Yeah, who cares? Anyway, I make root beer. Oh, boy.
Yeah. So what I used to do is walk to the top of the mountain and then down to the beach.
Did you see any whales?
No, I never saw any whales.
I make the root beer, oh boy.
And whales are wonderful. But I did there. So I'd walk down. Anyway, one time I decided I was going to pick up a rock and put it on this one part of my trip on my trail that would get muddy when it rained. And I figured if I put enough rocks down, then when it rained and the mud came up, I would just walk on the rocks to get over the mud. And I did this over the course of a year until it rained, and it rained. It was so scary. It rained and the rocks sank deep into the mud, and all of my project was for naught. Which kind of reminds me, I guess it's sort of a metaphor for this show, which I do every day. Every day I bring a rock and I drop it on the ground, metaphorically, and there's a metaphor there somewhere, and it's a... What, Mac? Benita, I don't know, I thought I would tell a story about rocks. That's great, rocks are important for our lives! That's true. Rocks are there to step on, to help us get over the mud, unless the mud is too deep and it sinks. I think that's what I'm trying to say, is that metaphor there. And that the Gilmore Girls are coming to Netflix. I was thinking about Netflix, and that's another good thing, is the Gilmore Girls are coming back. Melissa McCarthy, who got her big start on that show and later rose to fame, of course, with Bridesmaids and all the movies she's done, and that Mike and Molly horrible TV show, which I watched Mike and Molly the first time thinking she was going to be her Suki character from Gilmore Girls. No. Horrible writing on that show. But that's just my own personal opinion, my own personal review thing.
Mike's absolutely useless review.
Thank you. Yes, my absolutely useless review. But also, the love interest, Luke, he said in an interview about the Gilmore Girls coming back, his name is Scott Patterson, that there is some obvious ground that needs to be covered in the town of Stars Hollow. Yes, I watched the Gilmore Girls even though I'm a grown white male. How did that happen? Well, I was married at the time. And that's what my ex-wife and I used to watch that. And my ex-wife and I used to walk that trail that I was talking about earlier to the top of the mountain. And that I had been doing it for years before I met her. And then when we got married, she would want to do that. She did that with me. And then, in fact, when we went down to Ventura to visit, even though we had long since moved away from there, when we would visit, we would always have to do that little route together. Isn't that sweet? But I don't think I'm going to go to Ventura for a long time. Even though my 30-year high school reunion is coming up, I have no desire to go there. No desire. Sorry, guys in Ventura. I'm done. I need to take a long break from Ventura. Yeah, it's just like you've been, even though it's a really beautiful place, I've spent so much time, and I feel that there are other places I need to go in this world. Like Cafe Anyway, where we are. Anyway. What was I gonna... I guess that's it. Pretty much it, guys.
Wow, Mark, that was a profound way to end. You just did a full stop and ended and stopped your story, and it was really smooth.
Thank you. Mark, I enjoyed it too. So much so that I want to leave. Bye, bye, full stop. There she goes. Well, the website is mikesdailypodcast.com. Go there to find links to all the places you can listen to the show. If you want to help us out and you're going to buy anything on Amazon, go through that link at mikesdailypodcast.com and then bookmark it. Bookmark it. I need to go to a book market and buy me a book about how to speak about metaphors and how to speak to the Brewmaster, who freaks me out.
Why, am I strange? I'm not strange. I'll cut you. I make the earth bear. Oh, boy.
Thank you, Brewmaster.
What's a Gilmore Girl?
It's Lorelai and Rory. You know what also is at mikesdailypodcast.com, all the podcast pictures. And if you'd like to help us out through the PayPal and become an inglorious Mike's Daily Podcaster and get a special greeting from the Brewmaster, you'd be happy to do that, wouldn't you?
Sure, okay, whatever. You can't tell me what to do.
Yes, I can.
Okay. I hate the BBC too.
All right. Thank you. We've cleared up a lot of ground. All that at mikesdailypodcast.com. And now for the news segment, Matthew's News.
Matthew's News.
When the lights go down in the city
first story has to do with lights. Red lights. Cameras. Action. Red light cams, actually. And San Mateo, which is across the bay from Podcastro Valleyton, San Mateo City Council decided to put off renewing a contract with red light camera operator Redflex. This was for 90 days. This was a week after the city said it would refund nearly 1,000 tickets because the yellow lights at 2 intersections were set too short. I hate those light things. I hate especially when they flash on me, and then I wait for weeks, months, years, and I never get a ticket. And I'm like, I know it's still coming. I broke the law. It's coming. I didn't mean to. The council heard from Andre Clemente, the Burlingame resident, who contested his red light camera ticket based on the yellow light issue. A judge dismissed the ticket, which prompted an NBC Bay Area investigation that resulted in the refunds. I need to get that same TV channel news thing to look into my whole dog ticket situation, where I got a dog ticket that cost $300, even though I was in an area that had signs that said that dogs could be off leash. And my dog was off leash, and I don't think I deserve that ticket, which I've discussed on this show before. But Clemente said the $540 ticket, yes, $540, is draconian. He said the punishment doesn't fit the crime. Who benefits here, he says? Is it the public or the city? With Clemente were 6 people who contested their tickets because of the short yellow lights. Unlike speeding, where there are differences between a minor infraction and a major one, the cameras make no distinction between a driver being slightly over the line and blowing through a red light without even slowing. Many of the red light tickets are for just rolling stops. Ooh, I got a ticket for that too. In the Bay Area. So many freaking rules in the Bay Area, which I have also discussed on this podcast. Councilman David Lynn said he doesn't think rolling stops are acceptable, regardless of how many people do them. Ah, shut up. The high cost of tickets changes behavior, he said, deterring motorists from running red lights. Ah, shut up. Sorry. Members of the audience who had come with Clemente and shared his sentiments called out that Lim had inaccurately represented their stance, to which Lim sniped back that he was not going to get into a debate with them. He later apologized for his comments. Good Lord, so he told people to shut up. Bob Berger of San Mateo also brought up the amounts of the tickets. These fines are regressive, they hurt poor people the most, he said, and they seem vindictive on the part of the city. He also said the benefits to the city do not outweigh the problems the cameras create. The approval of the contract with Redflex was part of the council's consent agenda, where a number of routine items are approved at once without debate. Council removed the Redflex contract from the consent agenda to deal with the concerns the public was raising. Police Chief Susan Mannheimer suggested the 90-day delay to allow her department to prepare a more detailed report for council and respond to the questions the public was raising. In the meantime, the council voted unanimously to extend the existing contract with Redflex for 90 days. It sounds like finally people are speaking, are fighting back about what's going on here in the Bay Area and all of the draconianness going on here. Okay, next story. Trump, the least favorable candidate in 25 years, according to the Gallup poll. Yes, the Iowa caucus is tomorrow, and the views of Donald Trump, 3 out of 5. What? 3 out of every 5 Americans views Donald Trump unfavorably. And this goes all the way back to 1982 for the last unpopular candidate. That's back when Gallup began tracking the data, as it does now. Let's see. His is so bad. Oh, the one just above Donald Trump for unfavorableness was George H.W. Bush, George W. Bush's dad. His unfavorable ratings spiked just before he lost his re-election in 1992. One of the most popular end of the spectrum, on the most popular end, is Bernie Sanders and Ben Carson, both of whom are less well-known than Trump, meaning that fewer people have an opinion one way or the other. Gallup also noted that Ted Cruz's favorability among Republicans had plunged this past month, perhaps due to the increased scrutiny he's been facing as the one-time Iowa frontrunner, or perhaps for other reasons. There's one small consolation for Republicans worried about an unpopular Trump winning their party's nomination. The third least popular candidate in Gallup's numbers is the person currently leading the Democratic field, Hillary Clinton. This, according to the Washington Post, as we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And the podcast picture is of the Berkeley Marina. And there's a little view. You can see the Golden Gate Bridge. It's a beautiful spot. It's a marina that's attached to Berkeley. Thus the name. And a lot of fisher people go out there and fish. They fish. And you can see that picture there where Berkeley meets the bay at mikesdailypodcast.com. Mike, that's a beautiful picture. You take a lot of pictures. Is that part of y'all's the obsessive compulsive thing? Where you do the same thing over and over again every day? Is that what it is, Mike? Tell me true, Mike. Talk. Okay, I'm leaving. Bye.
Mark, you weeded her out. That's amazing. Good job.
I didn't know what else to say. Oh, I do know what to say. I need to say Addendum with Kevin.
Addendum with Kevin.
Hey, it's Kevin.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. We were just talking about some new places to go to in San Oakland.
Yes.
Jacqueline and Square.
Yeah.
My headphones
hang
don't
on.
work. Okay, go ahead.
There we go. Okay.
Where can I go if I'm in the Bay Area, in East Bay?
Oh.
Because this show is listened to by many East Bay Aryans.
Yeah, and we love it. No, I had the pleasure of going down to Overland, which is basically across the street from Jack London Square. If you see that big gate, the neon one, and you just look right at the corner, it's right there. And it's a nice little place. It's like little kind of... They call it a country bar, but it's really not. It's not like, you're not going to hear like, Shania Twain playing all day long. It's just a really nice bar. It's a good place to be. They have good beer there. I got to meet the owners, and they're all really cool people.
Is there a thing like drink a lot of beer here?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of beer, a lot of, you can get good cocktails there. They have 50-cent wings. Hooray.
How do you do that? Each one is 50 cents?
Yeah, so a dozen is $6. It was great. We got 2 dozen. There was also 4 of us, so I'm not that fat.
Is that what it's come down to?
Yes. And they're very good, too.
Each wing, we're going to charge you for each wing.
Who rolls up with like $1 and goes, "It's what I got." I'll take 2 and just holds out their hands.
I want meatballs. Just give me, how much a meatball? $5. Yeah. It's so expensive. All the restaurants and everything.
Yeah. And especially when they get like that frozen takeout stuff, it doesn't cost them that much.
Yeah.
Because I know there's overhead and stuff, but come on, cut me a break here. I'd buy more of it if I could, afford it.
Yeah.
I'd either buy 1 plate of wings for $14, or I can buy 3 for, I don't know, $7 each. Yeah, I'll just buy 3. That's great. You can have more of my money that way.
The problem is people are buying it to begin with, so... there's no incentive for anyone to lower their prices.
Yeah, I guess so. If you're gonna drink, you should probably eat.
And then, fast food restaurants. People eat at fast food restaurants. I'm not saying everybody that eats fast food does this, but everybody that eats fast food throws their trash on the ground.
No, see, I don't do that. I can't afford much of anything else.
Whenever I see trash... It's never used prophylactics anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the good old days,
I'd rather have McDonald's.
there's like McDonald's wrappers and Burger King and everything. I mean, come on. That was my thing I said the other day, is why you're being bad to your body, as I just ate a Taco Bell burrito.
Yeah. So did the both
But I
of us,
disposed of my trash. Anyway, I'm just saying there's lots of fast food trash everywhere.
You know what, Mike? You're judging a whole sector of people by the actions of just a few, and that
I would not
is racist.
I would not be judging if it was not for the fact that it's not the actions of just a few, it's the actions of a lot.
But how many people go to McDonald's every day and then you see trash 4 or 5 times a day?
I walk a lot. Maybe that's why I'm seeing the trash more often, and then it sticks out, and then I'm mad at myself that I don't get to eat fast food anymore because I'm old.
You just had some about 2 minutes ago.
Oh, that's true. Is my logic circular?
Well, it's kind of more rectangular. Anyways, I'm just
do your
giving you
impression
hell.
of the professor from Futurama when he said about Uranus.
Oh, you guys have probably seen, the episode of Futurama where, Fry is kind of getting reacquainted and he talks about, all the planets and, Uranus, and Professor Farnsworth goes, "We renamed that ridiculous planet years ago. Oh, what'd you guys call it? Eurectum."
I love how you say that.
But now you have to do your Ronald Reagan.
Well, when I was driving up Highway 1 in 1983 with Nancy, we decided to crank up the radio and listen to Y97 to hear a young Mike Matthews on the radio. And he was saying, "Listen to this new song from George Michael." My damn headphones won't stop shorting
We're having
out.
technical difficulties here. We're sorry.
George Michael, father figure. And I said to Nancy, "I'll be your father figure. Put your tiny little hand in mine." And I hate Walter Mondale, damn Democrat. And when I was running the government of California, I said, "Berkeley, calm yourselves down, you crazy hippie freaks. Quit making a ruckus about the Vietnam War." And then John Lennon said, "Give peace a chance," and Alan Capp. Wasn't it Al Capp?
Al Capp. Oh, yeah. So last night we had this sort of fun minute, and I watched that twice when I went home, by the way.
You did?
Yeah. For whatever reason, John Lennon decided it would be a brilliant idea to have a bed in for peace during the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Where him and Yoko sat in their stupid beds in Montreal and around. And they did 3 or 4 of them, I found out.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know why. I don't understand the logic here. You're talking about circular logic. I have no clue how Yoko and John sitting in bed for peace does a damn thing.
Maybe because they're relaxed and peace is sort of a thing. You're at peace when you're in bed.
Yeah.
That way you can sleep.
But basically, like, as you were saying, it's this big kind of pot-smoking hippie thing. And the thing is, and it wasn't just them sitting in their bed. There's, like, members of the media everywhere. It's basically a press junket in a bed. It was stupid.
1969.
And thankfully, Al Capp, a guy who just doesn't give a damn, was invited to this event. And he shows up and basically just heckles John Lennon for the better part of 10 minutes, and he won't let it go. And you can see he's, "Hey man, we're having we're gonna make peace by sitting in our freaking bed all day." And then Al Capp just kind of heckles him and heckles him and heckles him, and his hippie smile goes away. No, we're fixing things.
To add to what you said about John Byers, it's good to just oversee or something like that.
I can see why you want peace. God knows you can't have much from my own observation. But anyway.
The lyrics go, "Christ, you know it ain't easy. You know how hard it can be. The way things are going, they're going to crucify me and you, baby."
But in the lyric you said they were going to crucify you.
Yeah, if you take it literally.
Well, how did you mean it? I know that.
It means everything you want it to mean.
What did you want it to mean?
They're going to crucify me and you and everyone else.
We're fixing things. Yeah, we are. We'll help stopping the war.
I'll be Al Capp.
Okay.
John, listen. Okay, I draw a little Abner, and I am drunk.
Yeah.
I've had several belts of whiskey before I came over today, and I just want to tell you, what do you stand for? I don't believe in you. What do you believe in, John?
I believe that.
How do you live with Yoko? Oh my God, who is this woman?
Well,
he actually said that at one point.
He takes a couple shots at Yoko, and he goes, and she's, like, not to be mean, but everyone's been there when. And your friend or your girlfriend or someone like that who doesn't belong in an argument, who knows nothing about it. No, this we're gonna be in the bed for peace and we help people. And Al Capp
What
just
kind of accent?
slices.
Is that Scottish?
Really?
Is that a Scottish accent?
No, that's my Mrs. Swan. Hey,
From Mad TV.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you're not a nice guy, Al Capp.
So that was what happened with Al Capp.
Yeah.
To watch it, it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
It's a very
It's
interesting
a lot of fun. Yeah.
meshing of minds.
And just but I thought it was really fun because he plays this kind of I'm an ethereal hippie and my intellectual power is so much higher than everyone, and to watch Al Capp basically just knock the ladder out from underneath him and then basically just toy with Yoko on the end of a string was a lot of fun. It made him lose his cool, and it kind of made him drop this ethereal I'm so intellectual crap. No, you're not. Okay.
And Al Capp will be forever remembered for that.
Yes.
And before that, people were like, "Who the hell is Al Capp?"
But there was a great thing I found out that Al Capp had a record for going and basically heckling the counterculture type guys. And Al Capp, if you see the video, he's got a very pronounced limp. It's because he had a wooden leg. I didn't know that, and it was almost cut off at like the thigh.
Wow!
When he was 9 years old, he got
God.
partially run over by a cable car.
Oh my God!
Which severed his right leg, like just below the hip. Well, he had a wooden leg, and he was on a show with Frank Zappa.
No.
He was on a show with Frank Zappa, who, if you don't know who Frank Zappa is, stop whatever you're doing. Google Frank Zappa. He's a brilliant musician.
Listen to
play a guitar like no one else.
Yeah.
And at one point, Frank Zappa's got his long hair and his big bushy mustache, and they were on whatever show they were on. And Al Capp goes, "Why do you have long hair, Frank? Is it because you think you're a girl?" And then Frank Zappa, being chill, no one disturbs his cool, turns around Al Capp and goes, "You have a wooden leg. Do you think you're a table?"
Oh my God!
Isn't that brilliant?
Oh, I never heard of that.
Yeah.
Wow. Al Capp invented the shmoo, which was this bizarre creature that actually Hanna-Barbera made a cartoon of. That he should talk like this, the shmoo has the voice like this, kind of like that weird, goofy voice.
Kind of this abstract, like a walking teardrop, if you will.
Yeah,
almost.
And that was in Little Abner too.
Oh.
And there's an homage to Shmoo in San Francisco in the Dog Patch, which is weird.
Oh.
So Al Capp is being honored in San Francisco, where probably he would never be honored at all.
Oh my God, he would be San Francisco's Donald Trump. He would just be despised by everyone in the Castro, and not just but I mean just everyone who was kind of free thinking, and he had the way of just bring you right back down to earth and making you look like an idiot.
He an interesting guy. Well, I have to read a book about him and find out more about how this whole happened with his leg and how he came up with Little Abner. Which, by the way, if you ever read that cartoon, the women are all like they wear the really low cut things out in the South and whatnot. It was crazy times.
Apparently, they said that, and I found out this is interesting as well. That they said that a lot of people at that time didn't. I mean, people knew about the South and and about geography and how everyone lived, but they said that basically that one thing that they didn't like was that it gave a very rednecky, goofy, stupid stereotype to the people of the South in Little Abner, and that they said they really did not like that aspect, and that even to now we kind of have that that sort of I don't know what I'm doing. That kind of thing. They said that a lot of that comes from people in the North going, look at this stupid cartoon, all these dumb, goofy rednecks.
Yeah, and I was going to say they made a horrible movie.
No.
Little Abner. I remember seeing it's like something they did in the 60s. It was pretty bad. Oh, the other thing I want to talk about, speaking of movies, TV, and